dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Will Puckett. It is 6:31.
And I'm Cassidy Strickland. Thank you so much for waking up with us on this Wednesday. We're halfway through the week, but there is some tricky weather ahead. That's why we've issued a severe weather alert day, or the weather team has, at least. So a lot to keep your eye on.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon's got his bottle of aspirin ready to go over in the weather center as this headache of a forecast comes back into play. Warm today, almost 60. Then we're into the 30s tomorrow with some sort of something that's going to fall. Brandon, try and make sense of what we're to see the next 24 hours or so.
I will do my best, but you summed it up quite well. It's going to be a headache of a forecast, and we've been struggling with it for the last few days, and it's just one system right after the other one that could affect us over the next week. So let's take a look at current conditions. Get you out the door this morning. Over Whitesburg, you can see a quiet start to the day, so that's the good news. It's quiet for you for your morning drive, to head out to the bus stop, to go off to school or work. And over McKee, more of the same, but it's getting a little bit breezy. You'll be able to see that as well as you head out the door this morning. Some wind gusts, I'll show you those here in just a second. But right now on satellite radar across the area, not too much going on, just cloud cover. We are seeing some rain crossing parts of central Kentucky that will move into our area a little bit later on today. Temperature is one of the big stories this morning. 54 here in Hazard, 50 Somerset, Monticello 51, also in Prestonsburg at 51, Morehead's at 50, and in Jackson as well. 36 in Middlesboro is our cool spot this morning. Look at the wind cranking in out of the south there, and you see wind speeds of Monticello at wind speeds of 14 at Monticello, 13 at London, 15 in Wise, and 17 in Prestonsburg. You factor in the gust, 20 to 30-mile-an-hour gusts this morning, so hold on to your hat. This afternoon, 57 or better, even with the soggy conditions, because we're going to see the warm air pull in first before the cold air swings in behind it, and snow showers will be around as we head deep into the overnight. The rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, President Trump is now pointing to new developments on Mexico's southern border to win support for his border wall. He tweeted, "Two large caravans from Honduras broke into Mexico and are heading our way. We need a powerful wall." The government of Mexico now has a new immigration policy. Hundreds are testing the new policy at a week-old processing center along their southern border. It starts with bracelets that register migrants with the Mexican government. They are then photographed, interviewed, fingerprinted, and take iris recognition scans.
I believe that the Mexico's doing the right thing.
Now, many migrants say they will continue towards the United States. Mexico's new policy is also offering an incentive to leave the caravan. Some migrants say they will use their humanitarian visas and stay in Mexico.
Well, it is now day 33 of the partial government shutdown. Lawmakers in Washington are getting ready to take another stab at ending the longest shutdown in history. But as CBS's Mark Liverman explains, their efforts may not amount to much.
Remind our lawmakers that they can ease the pain.
The Senate chaplain's opening prayer yesterday highlighted what 800,000 federal employees are facing, another week without pay.
Amen.
But on the Senate floor,
it's only a thinly veiled attempt by the president to save face.
The political divide remains 5 weeks into the partial government shutdown.
So they can look like champions of the so-called resistance?
Some glimmer of progress. Tomorrow, the Senate will hold dueling votes to reopen the government. One bill is built around President Trump's proposal.
The plan includes $5.7 billion for a strategic deployment of physical barriers, or a wall.
The other is a bill House Democrats passed. It funds the government through February 8th without wall funding. Neither appears to have the votes to succeed.
Shipmates.
Meanwhile, thousands of military and law enforcement members are among those working without pay. The Coast Guard's top admiral tweeted this video out last night.
I find it unacceptable that Coast Guard men and women have to rely on food pantries and donations.
The FBI Agents Association sent out a dire warning.
Failure to fund the FBI is making it more difficult for us to do our jobs, to protect the people of our country from criminals and terrorists.
They added the shutdown could lead some FBI agents to consider career options that provide more stability for their families. Mark Liverman, CBS News.
Another pressure point for both sides is that the State of the Union is quickly approaching. The White House says it's pushing ahead with plans for the speech next week.
Now, one labor union is putting up billboards in Kentucky urging Senator Mitch McConnell to help end the shutdown. Here's a look at those billboards. The Council of Prison Locals put up those billboards. The sign mentions that correctional officers are not getting paid during the shutdown. The billboards are going up in parts of Lexington and Georgetown. Folks with the union say they should all be up by this coming Monday.
Some families could face difficult financial choices as the shutdown drags on. God's Pantry Food Bank helps people in 50 counties in eastern and central Kentucky. Its CEO says SNAP benefits are the first line of defense for people who are hungry, but the program is only funded through February. Now charities stand ready to do whatever they can if the shutdown stretches on. Lena Relford is a mother of 4 who says she uses SNAP benefits or food stamps to get by. Now she wonders how she will feed her family in the coming months.
It's on the back of my mind to make sure that I try to conserve and stretch as much as I can.
Most families like Relford's have already received their February benefits early, but there is no guarantee more is coming in March.
Furloughed workers can eat free meals at Buffalo Wings and Rings during the government shutdown. Federal employees have a choice between 3 full meals with drinks included throughout the shutdown. The workers get to choose between a burger, quesadilla, or wings of their choice, all at no charge. They posted on Facebook last week, letting the public know their plan, which they say has been a big success. Several federal employees came through during their lunch breaks and thanked the staff for their help during this tough time.
Switching gears now, on this Wednesday, police say there have been few leads in the search for a Knox County murder suspect. The search for Philip Lee Lewis III began last week. Lewis is considered a very dangerous person. We know he's 24 years old and that he has ties to Mississippi and Michigan. Lewis was wanted out of Mississippi on a parole violation. This is video just before police say he shot and killed Gary Medlin. It happened during an attempted robbery. Police believe Lewis may have had a getaway driver.
Hundreds of people lost power yesterday when a contract worker for Kentucky Utilities was shocked while working near the RJ community. Nearly 1,700 people lost power because of the accident, including 2 schools. We do not know the extent of that worker's injuries. We do know he was flown to the University of Tennessee Medical Center. KU officials say he worked for Davis H. Elliott Company, but we do not know his name.
Well, Wayne County, West Virginia police arrested 4 people in separate drug investigations. Jeremiah Stevens, Tanya Stevens, and Linda Lucas were taken into custody. Deputies say they found meth, heroin, marijuana, pills, digital scales, and packaging materials in the home. In a separate investigation, Erica Ross was arrested. All 4 face drug-related charges.
The walls of a community staple in Pikeville are coming down. The old Jerry's building will be demolished to make room for Pikeville Medical Center expansions. Although the building has not been Jerry's since 2013, many in the community still have special memories of the place. Randy Burke grew up in Pike County. He says almost every weekend he and his friends drove to Pikeville to eat at the diner. Now his own company is tearing it down.
It's a little emotional to tear it down, to be the one to tear it down. You know, I never thought that in a million years that I would be the one to actually have to do that.
The building should be gone within 2 weeks. Randy Burke says you can contact him via Facebook if you would like a souvenir from the building. Well, 6:39 coming up on Mountain News this morning. A European Space Agency wants to start mining on the moon.
Interesting. Another big temperature swing is on the way to the mountains, and it will bring chances of rain and, yes, snow with it. I'll tell you everything you need to know in about 3 minutes.